Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for Lago Maggiore Reverse with the MOTUL AUTECH GTR. Let's get this started. For this daily race, we're using the 2016 MOTUL AUTECH GTR. This car is pretty much good in all sorts of situations. A close alternative is the newer Lexus RCF. So for this first turn, what you want to do is when the curb on the left is about to end, you want to lift off of throttle, start turning in, and then apply a little bit of braking power. Take advantage of the curves and be very careful when you start to apply a throttle. You want the downforce to do all the work for you. Then take advantage of the curves again and brake before the curb on the right ends. Brake hard for a short moment. Quickly ease off of the brakes, taking advantage of the curves. And then you want to do a lot of throttle control through this next turn. Bring yourself all the way into the curb and get on the throttle as soon as you can. Once again, let the downforce do all the work for you. The S's can easily be taken flat out, but bring yourself towards the right side of the track and brake before the yellow area on the right ends. Brake hard for a short while. Quickly ease off of the brakes as you turn in and get on the throttle as soon as you can. Now take a nice deep breath because this next sector, sector 3, is going to be a bit of a handful. This first set of S's can easily be taken flat out, and then this is where it gets tricky. Bring yourself towards the left side of the track, and then when the track on the left is starting to go away from you, that is when you want to use a little bit of your braking power and take advantage of the white area. The track limits are pretty lax here. Get on the throttle, take advantage of the red and white curves, so make sure your right wheels are on those curves, and then brake right after those curves end. Use a bit of braking power, ease off of the brakes to let the car do the rotation, and get on the throttle as soon as you can. For that turn, if you can get a late apex, you'll be better set up. Now for this turn, brake just as the curb on the left ends. Bring yourself out wide, brake hard for a short moment, slowly ease off the brakes, and you want to try to get really close to the sausage curves and get on the throttle as soon as you can. That turn is pretty hard to nail down, so it will take a couple tries before you're able to get it nailed down. Now brake just as the red area on the right starts. Brake hard for a short while, slowly ease off of the brakes. Do a bit of throttle control to keep the car nice and stable. Then take this right turn flat out and brake just as the curb on the left ends. You want to bring yourself all the way into the yellow area. Don't brake too late like how I did. I braked just a hair too late. Take advantage of the yellow area on the left, and then do lots of throttle control. Go up to second gear and use some throttle to build up the revs to try not to get too much turbo lag, and carefully make your way out of the final turn. But that's all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the strategies. For this race, we are doing 10 laps at Lago Maggiore in reverse, and we're doing this with the Group 2 cars. And the car that you're probably going to see being used the most is the Nissan MOTUL AUTECH GTR. It's overall a really good car to use for the Group 2 car class. A close second will be the newer Lexus RCF. We're given the racing soft and medium tires, and both tires need to be used. They're both required, so you do have to make at least one pit stop. So this is a one-stop race. If you start on the racing soft tires, switch on over to the racing medium tires when you pit, and vice versa. So the fuel is a ×2, so don't worry about the fuel, but the tire wear is a ×6, so tire wear is going to be a problem, and it's going to come at you pretty fast. So you do want to be a bit careful about how you drive your car, especially whenever you're under the dirty air. Whenever you're within 3/4 of a second behind someone, you're going to be engaging with a slipstream, and on a straightaway, the lack of downforce in the dirty air will make your car go even faster, which is a good thing. But when you start to go through the twistier parts of the track, especially through sector 3, which is coming up soon, your car is going to end up on a steering quite a bit because you don't have all that downforce because you're within 3/4 of a second behind someone. So that's where you want to be a lot more careful about how you approach these turns under the dirty air. You might want to slow yourself down a bit so you can actually make the turns and not end up going off track and maybe even pick up a penalty. So yeah, this part right here under the dirty air, it's pretty brutal. So you definitely want to be very careful about that. And also one thing when it comes to the tire wear, first of all, bring the brake balance towards the back of the car for the RCF and the GTR, and in this case I had the brake balance at +2 or 2 to the rear. And also try not to overdrive the car. And I think, or at least to me, I feel like that's going to be something that is going to be really easy to do and you might not realize it. So you might push the car way too much to the point where the car is not reacting too well to your inputs. And since the front tires are wearing out faster, if you try to turn in way too much and not let the downforce do the work for you, then you're going to end up shredding your tires. And that ended up happening to me in this race. I was overdriving the car. I was just trying to brute force the car through this race, and it ended up backfiring on me. I wasn't letting the downforce do the work, so all I got were just very worn out front tires, to the point where 3rd and 4th place actually ended up taking complete advantage of me, and they just ended up passing me because I pretty much couldn't defend myself. And as you see on the bottom left hand corner of the screen, I just shredded my front tires. I was driving the car way too hard. So whenever you're driving these cars, especially during the race, you want to be a bit more smooth, or be a bit smoother with how you're driving the car. Let the downforce do the work for you. It'll do all the turning for you. If you don't, then you're going to end up in my situation where all you end up getting are worn out front tires and you're going to be understeering for days. And in the meantime, as I get passed by Grove Street Racing, let's go ahead and talk about when to pit. This one's going to be pretty straightforward. You want to try to pit at lap 5. Lap 6 if you're able to take really good care of your racing soft tires. So pretty much the main strategy is going to be to go 5 laps on the racing soft tires and 5 laps on the racing medium tires. If you're good with taking care of your tires, you could do 6 laps on the racing soft tires and 4 laps on the racing medium tires. And if you're starting in the middle or the back of the pack, you can just switch the tire order around to where you start on the racing medium tires and eventually switch on over to the racing soft tires. Just don't forget, both tires, both the racing soft and medium tires, are required for this race, so you do have to use both of them and you're going to be forced to pit once. Also, the pit stop entry is just after the final turn on the right side, so it's pretty easy to miss. So when you're ready to pit, just bring yourself all the way to the right just after that final turn and you'll enter the pit stop. And your pit loss is going to be around 13.5 to 14 seconds, so you only want to pit once. So I started on the racing soft tires, so now I need to switch on over to the racing medium tires, and I just did that. So now I can go ahead and complete my race. And here we go again. I'm overdriving the car because I'm somehow getting worn out racing medium tires. Yeah, I don't know what was going on in this race, but luckily in the next race, which I'll quickly show in a bit, that one I ended up doing a bit better because I was able to drive a lot smoother and was able to let the downforce do the work for me. And once again, dirty air, be very careful about that. Whenever you're 3/4 of a second behind someone, you will be engaging with the dirty air. And let's go ahead and finish this race because I'm tired of seeing my butt get whooped. And there we go. I shake in frustration because this race did not go well. But anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next race where all the aliens were asleep and I ended up doing a bit better because I was able to get my act together. Let's go ahead and talk about places to overtake. The main straight, good place to get overtake done. You want to get the inside line. So as you saw earlier in the clip, the way that I got overtaken, that's the way that you want to get the overtake done. Then this part's pretty much single file line do be careful about the dirty air because it can catch you off guard here, especially with the nasty understeer. You're still going to be going in a single file line as you go through the S's, and the next overtaking spot is going to be the big binky boy. So if the car in front of you got a bad exit, you can try to go for the overtake right here, or try to go for the overtake as we go through the back straight. But try to make it fast, try to take advantage of the slipstream and get past them as soon as you can, because Sector 3, the nasty old Sector 3, is all a single file line, and you're pretty much going to be sending it, just trying to go as fast as you can, taking advantage of the downforce. Go in a single file line, be careful whenever you're under someone's dirty air. This part, I would suggest waiting for the overtake for this mini back straight, which is also where the only penalty serving zone is, and we just passed the penalty serving zone. So this part right here, good place to get overtake done. And then the final place to get the overtake done is going to be the final hairpin, especially if the car gets a bad exit. You could try to go for the overtake right here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the overtaking and the penalty serving zone. There's only one penalty serving zone, and this is where I actually got a really good lap time of a 144.9, so I was pretty happy about that. And I was able to drive a bit smoother, so my front tires, especially my front tires, were able to last a little bit longer, and I was able to have a bit of a better time here at Daily Race C. Even though I really don't like this combination, because this combination is disgusting. But anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this guide, and you might have noticed that I might have uploaded this week's daily race guides a bit earlier, because one reason you hear the birds screaming and all that stuff. But anyways, I tried a thing where I took a couple naps before the daily races switched, and they switched over here at midnight. So I woke up like at 10 p.m. and then did the daily race stuff from midnight till now, which it's 11 a.m. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, but I did want to try this out to see how it went. But anyways, hopefully you guys all enjoyed this guide, and if you did, you can press the like, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. And I have a membership which you can check out in the description down below, because I'm getting sleepy, so I'm gonna go to bed now. But anyways, that's all for me. I'm going to sign off now. So this is Miss MCA, hopefully never going to have to do this combination again, and I'll see you in the next video.